Okay, let's continue with lesson 12. This is part 2. We'll continue to talk about pointers. Okay, so here I wrote a small program that all it does is it defines a variable that's integer called C, and the value of 5 is assigned to the variable C here in this command here. And then I define a variable that's a pointer, as you can see, int asterisk p1. So the name of the pointer is p1 and it points to an integer variable. And then in the next line I write p1 equals $C. So that means take the address of the variable C and place it in the pointer p1. So p1 will have the address of the variable C. And then I print the value of C, which is of course 5. So this is the first print. And the second print says p1 points to the value. And then here I take the content of p1. Remember from lesson 12 part 1, we said that if I write asterisk and the name of the pointer, that means I take the value that the pointer is pointing to. In other words, the address that p1 points to, I would like to take the value of that address, and that address is the variable C, and the value there is 5. So this second line will also have to print 5, and let's see if it works. So I'll compile it. Build succeeded. And now in order to run it, I'll have to go to the program. Next projects, beginners, pointers, build, release, pointers. So I'll run pointers. Here. Okay, I'm here. Enter. So you can see here the result. C equals 5 as we expected, and then p1 points to the value 5 as we expected. Now let's make a change in the program. Let's go ahead and change the value after the print. Let's change and let's do asterisk p1 equals 7. So when I do asterisk p1, I'm referring to the content that p1 is pointing to, which earlier we said is the variable C, right? So now if I do asterisk p1 equals 7, that means the value of C will change, and the value of C will no longer be 5, but it will be 7. let's see. Let's print again the value of C. So I'll copy this. And I'll print it again here. And let's see what we get. So we are printing twice. We're printing C here. Then we're printing what P1 points to. And then we're changing what P1 points to. And we're printing C again. So let's compile it. Okay, build success. Let's run it again. And what do we get? Pay attention. We get C equals 5, as we expected. And then we get P1 points to the value 5, as we expected. And then, the second time I print C, CR is already 7. So, in other words, the experiment worked. Let's go back and look at what we did here. See, what we did is the way we change the value of C is not by putting another value into C directly, but we put another value into where the pointer P1 points to, which is C. Because here we said P1 equals to the address of C. So you can see that I can refer to the variable that P1 points to when I do asterisk P1. So I hope this example is clear, and now you see what a pointer is. Pointer variable, it points to another variable, and we can take the content that it points to by using the operator asterisk, and we can assign the address of a variable to the pointer by using the ampersand sign. Now let's define another variable. Let's define int k, and let's put the value 20 in k. And now let's do P1 equals to the address of k. So now I took the address of k and I put it inside P1. So P1 no longer points to C. P1 will point to k. So if I'll print what P1 points to, let's see what happens. I'll print it again. Build. Okay, and let's first clear the screen. Run the program again. And now you can see the result. So the first time around, C was equal to 5, and then P1, we took the address of C and put it into P1, so P1 points to the value 5, because P1 points to C. And then we did P1 asterisk P1 equals 7 here, and then I printed C, and C changed to 7 because P1 was pointing to C, and we changed the content. And then the last thing we did was to define k, put the value 20 in k, and then have P1 point to k, and then print what P1 points to right now. And P1 points to the value 20. And this is correct because we put the value 20 into k, and P1 has the address of k, and here we take the value that P1 points to, which is k, and the value of k is 20. So we got our print correctly. Now let's see if we have more time. We can do another small exercise. Maybe we will not finish it, but we can start. So I hope this is clear, the issue with the pointer. And let's look at another program. Okay, this program is called the swap. It's a very simple program. And the first version of the program will be different than what we have here. I'll move this away. And the idea of this program is to define two variables, int a equals 10, b equals 20, and to print the value of those variables, then to swap between them. So how do we swap? We define another third variable, we call it temp, and then we'll do temp equals to a, and a equals to b, and then b equals to temp. This is how we swap the values between a and b, and after we did this, those three commands, a will contain 20 and b will contain 10. Let's see if it's correct. So we take that print. This prints the value of a and b, and we'll print it after the swap. And we'll see the difference between before the swap and after the swap. Build. Okay, let's try to run it. So now the program is called swap. Here is swap. Take swap and run it. And let's see what we got. So the first print says the value of a is 10 and the value of b is 20. And then the next line, after we did the swap, it says the value of a is 20 and the value of b is 10. So this is what we expected. So why am I showing you such a simple program? You're already experienced programmers. I shouldn't show you such a simple program. The reason I'm showing you this program is because in the next lesson we'll try to do the swap with a function, and we'll see if the function works or not. And if it doesn't work, we may need to use pointers in order for it to work. So this is just a hint that we may fail if we try to do the swap with a function. And in the next lesson, lesson 13, I will explain you why we cannot swap the two values in a function and print it back in the main program. And this will be the place to show you that pointers are useful, and sometimes we need to use them and there is no choice. So this is it for lesson 12, number 2, part 2, and tomorrow I'll record lesson 13. This is enough for today.